this weekend, I gotta be honest with you.
The premiere Scream, it's like Scream Ghost-based.
First of all, I'm old and I'm fat. That's all there is to it.
All right.
Yeah, because I just watched our remarkable, I want to thank Peter McHugh, who used to work here at Channel 3.
Yeah.
He sent us a clip of us interviewing Betty White, which we're going to show on Monday. And I'm very excited about
On
this.
her birthday.
On her birthday.
Which was a really good interview, right?
It was a great interview. And we look completely different. I look completely different. You look the same.
I do?
Well, a little bit. It was 11 years ago.
It was 11 years ago? Okay. Let's see, 11 years ago. Okay, so Julian was 1.
Exactly.
I had an excuse to still have some baby fat.
And no, you look good. So anyway. All right, you could be sitting with your purse. This is right up your alley. It's Dress Your Pets Day.
Yeah.
Renee. It's Dress Your Pet. Hello.
Dress Your Pet Day.
It's National Dress Your Pet Day.
I dressed mine.
You dressed Luke?
Oh my gosh, look at that one.
Oh my God, these costumes. Now, do you think the dogs like this? I don't think they do.
I think dogs will put up with it. Cats will rip your face off.
Cats will rip your face off, as we've discussed.
There is no way I could dress my cats.
There's no way I'm dressing a dog either because I'm afraid of what they'll do. I think they feel humiliated.
But I think dogs actually do like sweaters and things to stay warm.
Yeah, I think they like a good sweater.
And apparently some of them like those little boots to go outside.
They have to get used to, though, putting it on. Yeah, some of them. But, you know, pets sweat through their paws. So when they have their boots on, I'm always worried that they're not going to be able to sweat properly. They pant.
They pant.
But no, it's protection.
It's protection.
Like if they're going out to icy roads.
Yeah, no, and here's an advisory tale. Don't go out tomorrow. It's going to be brutal. No pets, no people outside tomorrow. It's going to be really, really cold. Really cold, especially in the morning.
You know that feeling when you have something in your ear?
Oh, this next story is so disgusting. We're
fair
giving you
warning. It's
fair
disgusting.
warning.
So this guy had that feeling. We've all had it. Like, oh, there's something stuck in my ear. Goes to the doctor. Everything's fine. Just, do the thing.
Ugh.
And then it turns out he goes to a specialized doctor. He's from New Zealand. And they found a cockroach in his ear.
I can't
It was
even
dead
look.
already.
It was dead because he was trying to use a hair dryer because he thought it was water. So he put a hot hair dryer to his ear and he was actually cooking the cockroach. Cooking the cockroach. How awesome is that?
How do we know that the cockroach didn't die before it was?
I'm telling you, I'm going with my story. He cooked the cockroach in his ear with the hair dryer.
Ew.
And they pulled it out of his ear. This
That
is the most
is
disgusting
disgusting.
story. Absolutely, we have to move on. I'm just
All right.
disgusting. Ugh.
Can you sing Let It Go?
Let it go, let it go. I don't know the rest of the words.
Okay. Anyway, Idina Menzel, the powerhouse voice behind Let It Go, is now teaming up with Disney on a new way to reach young children. She's actually doing it with her sister, and they are writing their first children's book. Her sister's name is Kara, also, only with a C.
Which
Kara
I think
Menzel.
it's called The Loud Mouse, Kara.
Yeah, it's a story of a little mouse with a loud voice and how she can use it.
I love this. I love a good little loud mouse. And then a big cat comes and takes care of the loud mouse. No, I'm just kidding. So they're coming out with it. And I think it's going to be great. It's the story of a little mouse with a big voice who decides to share it with
I think it's
her class.
perfect because then you get to see the real person behind the Disney movie, too.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
because she is a powerhouse. Just an amazing voice.
Is she going to be at Coachella?
She is not going to be at Coachella, at least not as a headliner, but it's been announced.
Not Idina Menzel. What did John Travolta call her? Idina Menzel? Was it Adele Mazine? Giselle Mazine? Something like that.
Okay, the Coachella lineup has been announced.
Yes.
If it happens, it's been canceled a couple of times, but this
tell
is
you.
like the thing to go to for the young folks who are dying to go.
Not happening.
Well, it's not. It's in California. It's not till like May or June. But Billie Eilish, Harry Styles, and Kanye West are set to headline.
You know, the funny thing is, I knew who all three of these people were as soon as they came up on the screen. I'm very excited.
Yeah, the last 2 weekends in April in Indio, California.
Okay.
It's a big, giant music festival party. It's a huge deal. I think each ticket is like $500, but they sell out. People love to go. But
yeah, it's huge.
It hasn't taken place
since
2019.
They camp, they tailgate, they go to Coachella, they have a good time, they listen to music, and they have a good time. So there you go.
So we talked about Jamie Lynn Spears. She had her interview yesterday about her new book that was coming out, and apparently Brittany did watch it.
Yes.
She had
a high fever, though.
She had a high fever, so she said it was a good thing to not feel well because, she didn't like what her sister had to say. She wasn't buying it, and she said she never had to work for anything.
Right. Now, she said the two things that did bother me that my sister said was how my behavior was out of control And then she goes on to say, she was never around me much 15 years ago at that time. So why are they even talking to her about that? And the second thing is, the lady mentioned, why did they accuse you of doing remixes to her songs? I know it may sound like a silly thing to most people, but I wrote a lot of my songs, and my sister was the baby. She never had to work for anything.
Now,
It sounds like they're going to get back together. I don't know. It sounds like they're going to forge this relationship and just get reunited. What do I know? You know what I'm saying?
she said everything was always given to her. So it sounds like a little sibling problem going on.
Little. It's cold in here. All right, Bob Saget. They're talking about his charitable donations are all going to his scleroderma. How do you say that, Kara? I can never say.
Yeah, it's going to be going to a scleroderma Research Foundation, SRF.
They said,
and it's gotten donations now from more than 1,500 people
across the world. They said they've gotten $90,000, but one of the former board members says he's about to put up $1.5 million in the form of a grant that will match every donation made in honor of Bob Saget. So that's really cool. So they're bringing attention to this disease, and they're going to raise some money, and something good comes out of a terrible tragedy. I saw him on the cover of People magazine as I was walking into work this morning. Very sad. It's still very sad.
It's a big loss,
shocking.
and everyone who's come out to speak about him has just said what a kind man he was.
Yep.
So that's really nice that at least his legacy of kindness and really being, you hate to hear that if he was a mean guy and he was America's dad, but it seems like the person we fell in love with was actually the real him.
The real him, the real deal, which is totally awesome. All right, if you're thinking about joining the Army, the U.S. Army is hoping cash will help fill its ranks during the pandemic. They're going to offer $50,000 to enlist for 6 years. So if you enlist for 6 years, $50,000. It used to be $40,000, but they're raising the ante to $50,000. But you have to be willing to be, they're looking for specialist jobs.
And some are going to get bigger bonuses just because they might be even more difficult to fill those jobs, like ones that can quickly do combat training. But, hey, the Army is no stranger to everything else that all the companies are doing, which is
competitive.
Yeah.
Competition.
Give me a job, give me what I want, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Big signing bonus.
That's a pretty big commitment, though, 6 years. You got to think about that.
Yeah, and so that is.
But money talks, so hopefully a lot of people will join because we need people to defend our nation. All right, this comic book sold for $3.18 million, Kara.
Wow. Making it the third most expensive comic, so others have sold for more. It's from 1938, and it's the first appearance of Superman, and it was auctioned off yesterday, and it was bought by Collectibles Marketplace, Golden, on behalf of a private buyer. So someone really, really wants this. Can you imagine if, like, one of your old comics, if you saved any, is worth millions of dollars?
Could you imagine? On the morning show this morning, we did Spider-Man. He was in a black costume.
Okay.
And that went for $3.38 million. So, like, they must have had this big auction with comics yesterday, but these comic books are raking in the money.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
I'm wondering, now that
I was never really a big fan. Brenda Starr, I remember. Do you remember Brenda Starr?
I am wondering now if the way that we're all into Marie Kondo and getting rid of stuff. This doesn't bring me joy. Toss. Like,
but it does bring me money.
Are these things going to be worth even more because nobody's keeping clutter anymore and everything's digital?
It may not bring me joy right now, but it's going to bring me joy if I hang on to it long enough.
But then you're going to never, how do you know? You're going to have this, like, stuff in your basement.
I don't know. I don't have comics in my book.
So we have a little extra time, and I don't know, but I'm just curious, and maybe there's a medical professional out there. I'm sure it's fine. But I have this little thing. You probably can't even see it at home. But it happened right before we went on the show. What is that?
It looks like a bug bite. It's puffy, and it's coming off your face. And I don't know what it is.
It's not a cockroach, so I'm doing okay.
But Ernie said you might be turning into a zombie.
Yes, he had to remind me about that. Isn't that the movie you needed therapy for?
That's true.
Okay.
Night of the Living Dead.
That's why.
Wait, we're getting close up there.
Okay.
Hang on. You see it? Point to it.
It's right there.
Yeah, we can see it as plain as day.
It's just this, like, spot that just started popping up, like, now.
What did you ever have chicken pox?
Here's the true story. I've never had chicken pox that I know of. However, no, don't freak out. I was then going to get the vaccine because it can be very dangerous if you're pregnant. And then they said, well, before we give you the vaccine, we always test for antibodies. I had the antibodies. So
You
they
have the
said,
chickenpox antibodies.
yes, they said whether you had a mild case or had whatever, you've been exposed. So I don't ever remember getting chickenpox. I remember my mother trying to have me get it, and I go home from sleeping at my cousin's and I wouldn't have any spots. But apparently I got it on some level because I had the antibodies, because they didn't give me the vaccine when I was pregnant.
Were you near any cockroaches lately?
Well,